The movie begins in the quiet town of Badger, in northern Pennsylvania, where a small family is peacefully preparing dinner. This peace is abruptly broken by an enormous explosion outside their house. The explosion is so strong that it leaves everyone in the family unconscious. When they wake up, they hear strange noises from outside and soon begin to experience worrying symptoms. They have difficulty breathing, and one by one they begin to cough up blood. Unfortunately, all family members end up dying because of these mysterious and fatal effects. The film then changes to a scene with Lauren, a NASA biologist specializing in X-rays, who is in her room when she hears news about the explosion that swept through the entire city and killed everyone. This news affects her greatly, leading her to sink into a bathtub with a bottle of wine, her mind full of childhood memories. Soon after, the story changes when soldiers appear at Lauren's house. They urgently ask her to go to the site of the explosion, highlighting her expertise as necessary. Despite her doubts and without a choice, Lauren agrees to accompany the soldiers there. Lauren, along with a scientist named David, is informed by Colonel Emmerich. He explains that the explosion and toxic gas were caused by a meteorite. Anyone who breathes the air without protection will die instantly. Strangely, the meteorite disappeared, dissolving into the ground. Colonel Emmerich asks Lauren and David to investigate the area and give their professional opinions. The colonel demonstrates trust in Lauren's abilities, praising her respected reputation. He believes that if there is something of extraterrestrial origin involved, Lauren will be able to identify it with her sharp skill. Lauren and David go to the place where the meteorite fell. When they arrive there, they are shocked to see that an entire city was swept away by a meteor. While David doesn't see anything special, Lauren is interested in a small red plant that is growing in the crater. She's curious about the presence of the plant and decides to examine it carefully because of its unique characteristics. After returning home, Lauren's curiosity leads her to navigate the dark web in search of information about similar incidents around the world. She discovers that a similar event happened in Russia, where a similar meteorite released dangerous gases, causing many deaths. The Russian government tried to hide the information and destroy the extraterrestrial object, but an unidentified witness revealed everything. Since her brother works in the army, the situation becomes even more mysterious when the woman who made the report is found dead a few days later, showing that Russia was hiding something. Hey, what would you do if aliens came down to Earth? The movie I'm going to summarize is called Risen. It's a film that mixes science fiction, drama, and suspense. The ending shocked me. I didn't expect it. That's why I invite you to stay until the end. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and leave a like to receive the best recaps. Soon after, two doctors prepare to perform an autopsy on the father of the family who died because of the poisonous air from the meteorite. While examining the body, they notice that his skin seems strangely normal for someone who died, and the body is not as rigid as it should be after death. When making a cut, a strange black and shiny liquid emerges, only to be absorbed back by the body, in a surprising turn of events. The man who was dead suddenly sits up, frightening one of the doctors, who flees in panic while the other tries to talk to him. The man remains unresponsive and motionless, with his head lowered. When checking his pulse, they discover that there is no heartbeat, and his body is extremely cold. This event leaves Lauren and the observing scientist completely surprised. The situation becomes more serious when all phones start ringing at the same time, indicating that many people who died in the city have mysteriously come back to life in a similar way. The media is in turmoil because of these events, and important figures from various sectors of the government gather at the site. Doctors try to understand what is happening with the undead, showing them photos of their families and homes, but they have no success. A government official questions why only 49 people were revived when the death toll was over 1,300. A scientist suggests that perhaps only those who were close to where the meteorite fell were affected. He thinks they breathed not only the poisonous air, but also particles from the meteor, which seem to be changing their internal organs. During this conversation, one of the deceased who came back to life moves, a phenomenon that the scientist notes is becoming more common. He reveals that all the individuals who resurfaced seem to be heading in a specific direction. Lauren discusses the situation with Emmerich, making comparisons with a similar incident in Russia. However, Emmerich doesn't pay much attention since the information was obtained on the dark web and there is no concrete evidence. He dismisses this possibility. During a meeting at the White House, it is revealed that those who came back to life show no signs of heartbeats, breathing, or brain activity. Their organs and tissues contain unknown elements and compounds, and their DNA has been fundamentally reprogrammed into a different life form, presumably of extraterrestrial origin. A military leader suggests burning the bodies, but Lauren insists on her idea that the Russians are hiding something, which is not well accepted by everyone. The president, careful not to make radical decisions, decides not to allow the burning and asks the scientists to do more research to understand these very strange events. The story becomes more personal for Lauren, an exobiologist overwhelmed by the extraordinary events around her. To find comfort, she drinks a lot of alcohol inside her car. This moment of weakness makes her remember her childhood, when her father took her to a secret place and instructed her to keep it a secret from everyone, including her mother. This memory, full of secrets and doubts, disturbs her, leading her to take medication in an attempt to deal with the situation. Meanwhile, efforts to communicate with the returned dead continue, but all attempts yield no results. Lauren's frustration grows as she desperately searches for any kind of reaction from them. In a moment of anguish, she enters the room where the dead are held and approaches a little girl, the same one from the beginning of the film. Lauren offers her a book titled A Galaxy Far Away, which was her favorite in childhood. She shares a personal story with the girl, revealing that she didn't cry when her mother died when she was 10 years old, an emotional reaction that she perceives as different. During this moment, Lauren's cell phone rings, and as she declines the call, the girl notices the wallpaper, an image of the red plant from where the meteorite fell. To Lauren's surprise, the girl suddenly holds her arm. This unexpected response causes Lauren to inform Emmerich that the girl reacted to the image of the plant. David, another scientist, notices that all the resurrected deceased are facing the direction of the impact site, comparing this to the sacred direction of Mecca for Muslims. Emmerich asked why she didn't report about this plant, since it managed to grow in a hostile location where thousands of people died. Something good, isn't it? Lauren thought it wasn't relevant. The story gets more complicated when news emerges of a huge tree-like structure that grew rapidly at the site of the meteorite impact in just 2 days. Lauren and David arrived at the place and were shocked to see that the small plant had transformed into a huge tree. This tree was not only changing the soil, but also the air around it, creating a dangerous atmosphere for humans. Convinced that the resurrected would respond to the tree, Lauren persuaded Colonel Emmerich to bring one of the resurrected individuals to the site. Initially, nothing happened when they placed a resurrected man in front of the tree. But then, surprisingly, the man took a deep breath, opened his eyes now a bright blue, and examined his body as if seeing it for the first time. He revealed himself to be an alien and explained that he needed to stay close to the tree to survive, as the normal Earth environment was incompatible with his existence. This discovery reveals the true nature of the resurrected and the major consequences of the meteorite impact. After this, Lauren takes an important step by calling a press conference to share her findings. She explains to the reporters present that just as plants on Earth produce oxygen essential for humans, the alien tree provides crucial elements for extraterrestrial beings. When asked about how the aliens managed to reach Earth without any satellite capturing it, Lauren mentions reports of space tunnels near their solar system, indicating a possible route for interstellar travel. Back at her home, Lauren receives a message from her therapist, who wants to discuss her frequent dreams about flying. During this moment of reflection, Lauren's father visits her. The way they communicate is strange and emotionally cold. Lauren's father remembers how she loved science as a child, recounting how she wanted a science lab for her 8th birthday and used an old shed to do her experiments. He says that Lauren's mother was worried about her intense interest in science and space, despite trying to connect with her. Lauren keeps her distance, which eventually leads to his departure. Soon, Lauren is summoned by the army as the alien refuses to speak with anyone other than her. During a deep conversation, Lauren asks the alien what his purpose is on Earth. He reveals that his home planet became uninhabitable, so his species is looking for a new world. Intriguingly, he mentions that a human known as Supernova 94 gave them detailed information about Earth, including the strengths and weaknesses of humans. The situation becomes more serious when David tries to take a part of the tree, making the alien furious. The alien asks Lauren to stop them, but she can't do anything. She tells the alien about the army's plans to destroy the tree. The alien then says that he came from a hostile country and will not descend peacefully to Earth, and that he has abilities, which is revealed when he controls David's mind, making him remove his suit and causing confusion among the soldiers. This confusion becomes dangerous when the soldiers, driven mad by the alien's powers, begin to fight among themselves. Meanwhile, the army attacks the tree and the alien, but they cannot succeed because an invisible force field protects the tree. Reports of strange and frightening events begin to appear around the world, with people hearing disturbing sounds from various natural sources. As Lauren watches news of global disasters, such as crop failures, earthquakes, and frightening sounds, humanity faces the possibility of disappearing. In response, authorities decide to cremate the resurrected dead, avoiding more contact with beings from another world. In the midst of this devastated world, Lauren decides to go to the city where the meteorite fell. She visits her childhood home for the last time and finds her father alone. Despite the imminent danger, Lauren feels a strange sense of freedom, knowing that the world is about to end. Leaving her past behind, Lauren reaches the alien tree and immediately realizes that it has changed in appearance, signaling a transformation. The extraterrestrial tells Lauren that she was very important in starting these events. He says that Lauren was involved in an incident that she doesn't remember, a revelation that begins to make her remember things that were forgotten. Lauren's memory takes her back to a secret trip she took as a child, following her father's instructions to keep the destination a secret. Her father, a senator deeply involved in secret projects about life from other planets in Area 51, was called because of the capture of an extraterrestrial. Curious, Lauren secretly followed her father into the facility. During the memory, Lauren discovers that the being from another planet was trying to plant something on Earth and could fly. Curious, she enters the room where the being's body is kept and touches the capsule. This contact causes a strange process, transferring the being's mind to Lauren. Back home, Lauren's incredible scientific talents begin to emerge. She tells her teachers that she is a being from another planet trying to go home. Her different way leads to social distancing, and she spends many hours in her shed working on scientific projects. Lauren builds an advanced radio and begins to send messages to space, identifying herself as Supernova 94. This name, which was marked on her calendar, reveals who she really is. When her mother discovers she was talking to someone, with fear, she forbids Lauren from using the shed, which causes a strong reaction in Lauren. She covers the walls with drawings of wings, and a doctor tells her father that she has the DNA of an unknown species, making her only half human. Now, the extraterrestrial removes Lauren's helmet, showing that she can breathe the toxic air. Realizing her true identity and the origin of her challenges throughout life, Lauren cannot contain her tears and cries a lot. Meanwhile, Lauren's father, overwhelmed by the discovery of her true nature, laments the reality that is revealed. Around the world, strange egg-shaped objects linked to the main tree appear, releasing smoke that changes the atmosphere to suit the aliens, but is deadly for humans. As humanity faces the threat of extinction, the planet undergoes a major transformation. The film ends with the alien tree dominating Earth. Lauren, finally accepting who she really is, develops a wing, symbolizing her connection with the aliens. She realizes that she has found her true home, marking the end of a journey filled with discoveries, changes, and self-acceptance. Hey, what rating would you give this movie? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to activate the bell to be notified of new summaries. So until next time.